Man, I wish I had this book 15 years ago. Every once in a while, I'll read a book that speaks to my creative soul. And recently, that book was We Need Your Art by Aimee McNee. Today's video, I'm going to share 3 reasons why I think you should read this book. This video is a why you should read book review. I'm going to try to keep it as short and sweet as possible. Let's get into it. We Need Your Art, Stop Messing Around and Make Something by Aimee McNee. Came out earlier this year. At first, I wasn't going to buy this book. Her Instagram for probably a couple years. She's the Instagram artist. You probably have seen her post where she shares words of inspiration, motivation, reminders about creating art. And her Instagram is so good at being inspirational. I didn't think that buying the book would have any real impact on what, or be any different than what she shared on her Instagram. But boy was I wrong. I'm so glad I decided to buy this book. This book is for all types of creatives, no matter what you create. No matter where you are in your journey. It doesn't matter if you're a beginning hobbyist, an amateur, or you're all the way at the top of your success, you're an expert professional. This book is literally for all types of artists, regardless of their journey. This book made me feel seen and understood. I can't say how many times I read a chapter and I was nodding my head and agreeing, and I kept telling my wife how much I love this book. Every single night I would read before bed, and I'd read a chapter, be inspired, be seen, and I'd look over and tell my wife, I love this book. And on top of all the chapters and different topics Aimee touches on in this book, she also has these amazing journal prompts that help you get out of your own head and hopefully get out of your own way to release any blockages, anything stopping you from creating, to help you progress. Those sections I can see being very viable for working through your own art issues. One takeaway I wish I had heard 15 years ago was coordinate yourself. Give yourself permission to create. Anoint yourself as an artist. Pick yourself. A long time ago, and I've expressed this on another video, but I was afraid to title myself a comic artist. I had shame and imposter syndrome around my art level at the time. I felt like I couldn't call myself a comic artist because I wasn't a professional. I wasn't at a certain level. I didn't have the skill that other comic artists or manga artists had. For the longest time, my Instagram said aspiring comic artists. And it wasn't until, I can't remember exactly where I first got the idea to claim that I was an artist. But it was that day that I went to Instagram, removed aspiring, and just claimed the fact that I am a comic artist. I make comics. And if you make comics, you're a comic artist. If you make manga, you're a manga artist. Doesn't matter where you live. It doesn't matter where you were born. It doesn't matter if you are still trying to figure it out. If you make comics, you're a comic artist. Claim your title. Aimee even lists some excuses we tell ourselves, like you are waiting to post on social media until you're more experienced. You'll call yourself an artist once you're published or recognized by the industry. The one that hit me the hardest, you are waiting to create the big project until you're more experienced. I still struggle with this, but thanks to this book, I'm making a plan to fix that. The point is, you are an artist no matter what level your artistic abilities. Claim your title today. The next takeaway is in the On Failure section, and it's titled, Silence is an Invitation to Pick Yourself First. Not only did I need to hear this advice many years ago, I need to hear it right now too. I need this reminder every single day. Aimee talks about how silence is the hardest type of failure to endure because as creators, we want to make an impact. We want our comics and manga to be seen. We want people to feel things as they read our stuff. But when we're sharing our work and when we receive silence, it can feel disheartening. And it feels like you're creating in a vacuum. I can't tell you how many times in the last several years of posting on Instagram, I felt like I was throwing my artwork to the void. That it was an open chasm where I was just dumping in artwork, hoping to get something. And I'm pretty sure you probably feel this way too. Social media can feel that way today. You finally finish a page or a panel or even an entire comic. You're so excited to post it. You want to share it with the world. You want to see or experience the reaction of people enjoying your work. But then after you post it, nothing. Crickets. Sometimes the only like on my post is me. Aimee discusses how we can take these times and see it as an invitation to choose ourselves first. She says, your brilliance must be validated and acknowledged by you first. You must pick your work first. Pick yourself first. Or be your first champion. Be your own biggest fan. And honestly, that's exactly where I'm at right now with this channel. I'm making them for the younger version of myself. The version of myself that needed to hear all this information, needed that inspiration, needed that push in the right direction. And I'm hoping that I find the right listeners that need to hear these messages too. Aimee provides so much insight on the topic of failure, which is why I believe that this book can help an artists wherever they are on their artist journey. The last takeaway is on being patient. Specifically, I want to speak on her advice on being patient while being a beginner. She speaks about the world being intolerant and dismissive of the sucking phase, that people have very little time or respect for the beginner. A common reaction to saying to anybody that you're learning something new is, are you any good? And it can make artists feel unproductive to the fact that they don't want to spend the time to get better at doing whatever the thing is. I felt this way with my own personal comic creating journey. Wanting to make comics but not knowing how, making crappy comics, and then being afraid to tell people that I was making comics, being afraid to post online to share my comics, because my comics don't look like normal comics. They don't have the Marvel or DC look. They don't look like manga. They just look like my style, but in comic form. Aimee says we just need patience as we navigate the learning curve. We need to tolerate sucking because we will always have a relationship with sucking. She says even when you're an expert, you will suck from time to time. And I'm no expert, but I look at my first comics and I see how far I've grown. My first comic all the way to the comic that I'm creating right now has shown so much progression, so much progress that I'm amazed by all the work that I've done to get to this point. And I know that many years from now, as I continue to make even more comics, that I'm going to be even more impressed by all the work I'm doing. And one day in the future, I'll look back on the work that I've done and I'll see the flaws. But for now, I can appreciate where I'm at in my journey and keep moving forward. Aimee reminds us to give ourselves compassion and patience as we learn and grow. Art is a process. It's something we do because of the journey itself, not because of where we end up. There's so many other topics she touches on in this book. She hits on procrastination, perfection, jealousy, comparison, failure, success, and even celebrating. I enjoyed that chapter a lot too, and I definitely plan on celebrating my small wins and victories all the way to the big victories as well. Like I said, this book, I needed it years ago, but the great thing is, I still need it today. I plan on rereading this book multiple times, and I also plan on doing the journal prompts because I didn't do them the first time around. Every time I finished a chapter, I was so excited to read the next chapter that I just wanted to skip the prompts. But I plan on diving into the prompts during my next break between comic projects. If anything I spoke on touched the artist inside of you, please check out her book. I'll put links in the description section about where you can find Aimee's book, Aimee's YouTube channel, and her Instagram. And if it's not in the description section, since I'm still new, I'll put it in a pinned comment. If you enjoyed this review, and you like more about creating comics, manga, be sure to check out my podcast. I post every other week, every other Wednesday around 11 o'clock. It's called Panels in Progress. I talk about everything from how to make comics and manga all the way to improving your mindset while you make comics and manga. So if you want to catch that next episode or the next video, be sure to subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon.